Hello, and welcome back to LOH News. I'm your host, Scott Ramirez. Today, we have a special guest narrating a short documentary that we put together that you can have as a treat. What is a Minecraft server without lore? Whether it's manhunts, villager slavery, you messing around with your friends on a private server, or entire movie reenactments, every server has lore. Countless stories unfold in Minecraft every single day, and this is one of them.
And now, introducing the champion. Fighting out of the right corner, Atosa Inu with a professional record of 8 wins, no losses. He stands 30 inches, weighing in at 129.5 pounds. Fighting out of Shikoku, Japan, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight Minecraft dogfighting champion of the world, Apex the Rocket.
If you're really in this much pain, why don't you just quit fighting?
He's the biggest star the sport has ever seen. I'd go so far as to say that without him, Minecraft dogfighting wouldn't be what it is today.
I was in a tight spot financially when I did what every reasonable broke person does. I sold all of my belongings and poured the money into dogfight gambling. The earnings gave me a second chance. I owe him everything.
Do you remember what it was like being at the Dog vs. Apex event?
Of course I remember. It's one of those core memories that you never forget, like listening to Eminem for the first time. I can still almost picture myself there. I was on my phone, writing a review on Music to be Murdered By. Genius album, by the way. When the stadium erupted, there was popcorn and drinks being thrown around, and all the shouting sounded primal. I've only experienced goosebumps like that once before. Have you ever listened to Kim by Eminem? That's exactly what it felt like being at the Dog vs. Apex fight.
No, but I've listened to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy before, so I think I understand what you mean.
Fucking kill yourself, dude. This interview's over.
January 6th, 2021, marked the end of an era and beginning of a new one. The audience was shocked to see their champion Dog, the Bull Terrier, yes, his name is Dog, come in with a 4-fight win streak and leave with a shattered ego and limb. Through the settling dust, the echoing boos, the popcorn thrown at him and the incomprehensible drunken death threats, Apex stood triumphant. A new champion was born, and this was only the beginning. But who was this new Dog? And how was he so successful, so consistently? Apex was born on the small island of Shikoku, Japan. He was the runt of the pack and was born quite sickly. The vet informed his parents that due to his physical condition, running or playing sports were not a good outlook. Poor Apex's pup years were rough, having to watch all the other pups play fight without ever being able to join in. Things continued like this until one day a missionary came to town and taught him the truth of Allah. As his faith grew, his heart got stronger, his bones got denser, and he grew to be 30 inches tall, which is 5'11" in dog feet. Or well, at least that is what he told us during an interview.
So, just to recap, what you're saying is you're 5'11" because you're religious?
Finally, he was strong enough to compete with the other dogs. So he did, and he found out he was pretty good at it. Other people started noticing this as well. Most importantly, Danny Wright, head of the Minecraft dog fighting competition.
He was the natural. I knew the moment I saw him that I needed to get him to enter my competition, so I offered him a contract he couldn't refuse. In fact, it was the most expensive contract I ever gave any fighter.
Wright had offered him an almost unheard of contract, $250 for 1 year. Apex wasn't particularly interested in the money, but figured it would be a perfect platform to spread his faith. And so, the legend we know today finally began. His first fight was against Dog, the Bull Terrier, and well, you know how that went. His next couple of fights went just about the same. His opponents would try different techniques on him and he would just tank them. When his opponents were tuckered out, he would hit them with his signature spinning back bite. And it was all it took. During an interview where he was questioned about his insane endurance, he responded with the words, "Arf arf, grr grr, arf," which in English translates roughly to, "My chin is only as strong as my faith."
Here's the part of the industry nobody tells you about. It was an unspoken secret that nobody really wanted to fight Apex. Sure, we hyped it all up and spoke a lot of trash during the press conferences, but deep down the idea of getting in the cage with him made me sick to my stomach. He was the most violent dog to ever enter the competition. He would try to bite some of us like we were apples.
How exactly are you talking like that?
Like what, in English? I took lessons.
As he raked in more wins and more money, he became less of a working class underdog hero and more of a mythical creature. He was a puzzle to be solved. The fans no longer asked, will he be able to beat this next dog? And instead asked, will this be the dog to finally beat him? The answer kept being no. And by his sixth fight, he was deemed unbeatable by the fans of the sport. His out of his world strength and technique earned him the moniker, The Rocket. The last time Apex's strength was put into question was when a dog from an opposing promotion challenged him. Colossus, a Tibetan Mastiff, was the current champion of the Terraria Dog Fighting Championship. He was 30 inches tall and weighed 146 pounds, outweighing Apex by a whopping 16 pounds. And to top it off, he also had a similar undefeated record of 5-0. He had mauled every opponent he faced. Every fight he'd been in ended in a doctor's stoppage. The hype around this event was massive, and to this day it still holds the record for the third most pay-per-view buys in Minecraft dogfighting history. Would this be the end of his reign? Would his perfect, undefeated winning streak finally have a blemish on it? Apparently not. Apex really was unstoppable. It came to the point where people stopped preying on his downfall and started acting like they were his fans from the very beginning. There really was no stopping him. It seemed like he would be the champion forever. But the truth is, under his tough persona, he was struggling with something even stronger than his rivals. He was struggling with his addiction to opioids.
I know your dose used to be higher, but with these new laws, we just can't prescribe that much anymore. If you're really in this much pain, why don't you just quit fighting? Wait, what's this? 4, 5, on second thought, I can't prescribe you anymore, but I can look away while you get a bottle or two out of that cabinet over there in the top right. Yeah, over to the right one? Yeah, that one.
Because his fighting style relied on him taking as much damage as possible, his body started to wear out fast. He was constantly in pain even when he wasn't fighting. His next fight was won by decision. There were notable differences from his previous fights. He was a lot slower than usual and out of breath. He had barely survived in there, and some even argued that the other dog had won. December 14th, 2021. Apex the Rocket suddenly dropped in the middle of the ring. The fight was stopped and doctors stepped in to check on him. They noticed he was taking slow and shallow breaths and he couldn't get up. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was no use. Apex was pronounced dead on the way there. The cause? Opioid overdose. the world of Minecraft dogfighting was shook. It can be hard to say goodbye sometimes. We can't always find the right words to express exactly how we're feeling. People grieved online the way they always do when celebrities die. They photoshopped him in the Harambe Celebrity Heaven edit. Some who never watched the sport at all pretended to be his fans. Message boards posted about how he was kinda mid, and some made it clear they weren't mourning his death at all, and discouraged others from doing so because he said something sexist during an interview in January. What can we take from this? Could we take this as a PSA for opioid addiction? I don't know. All I know is that his family donated his earnings to those struggling with opioid addiction. Unfortunately, the charity was plagued with corruption and most of the money mysteriously disappeared. Regardless of what struggles he faced in the end, Apex the Rocket was undoubtedly one of the greatest Minecraft dogfighting champions of all time. May his legacy inspire those who come after him, and may his acts of charity be a beacon of hope for those who are struggling. Apex, you will forever live in our hearts. May you rest in paradise.
Thank you, Gammo, for lending us your voice. This concludes today's broadcast. I've been Scott, and from all of us at LOH News, thank you for watching, and have a great night.